Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to slay another day? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling, here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
Jess, doing really good. I just got past a secret door. I'm not going to tell you about it because it's a secret. You can't know about it. It's not for you.
I would love to have a secret door.
Yeah.
Just sounds exciting.
Yeah. Have you ever fantasized about having one of those bookshelves that open up to a different room?
Yeah, I always wanted a little like hideaway spot. Like when I was a kid, like between Harriet the Spy, and then also like watching a lot of Hey Arnold and just being very jealous of his bedroom, I had a lot of aspirations for a little safe haven for myself when I was younger.
Yeah. How's that going for you? I mean, like, we're an adult, you know, we could do whatever we want.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a secret room in my house now.
You know what I think about a lot? It's like, you know how they're like, oh, when you're an adult, like you can do whatever you want. Like you can go out and buy like a full ass cake and just have cake for dinner. Like I never do that. You know what I mean?
No, because when you're an adult, you have other things you have to pay for. And suddenly you can't just like waste your money on dumb stuff.
It's that, but it's also like the amount of shame I would feel if I went out and got like a cake and just had cake for dinner. But like, it's what I want. You know what I mean?
Well, I also think it's because, there's a lot of that, like, oh, when you're an adult, you can eat candy for dinner. And it's like, well, now I don't want candy for dinner because I need an actual meal. Like, you know, I need my veggies because we're just smarter as adults now.
What veggie? What's your favorite veggie?
Oh, that's a lot of pressure on one vegetable.
What are you talking about?
I mean, my answer isn't like, oh, I just love tomatoes and I eat tomatoes for every single meal.
I think tomatoes are a fruit, but yeah, sure.
I will never allow that to be true in my head. It's just silly. No, I'm a big fan of a bell pepper, actually, I think, if I had to pick a single one, because it's versatile. Like, you could eat it raw. You could eat it cooked. I put it in a lot of different meals. On top of that, you could get different color varieties, which have different tastes.
Yeah. Did you know the red ones have the most nutrients?
That makes sense because the red ones are my favorites.
Yeah, has the most nutrients because like
the green ones are trash and we all know it. It's fine.
Well, the green ones are red peppers that are not fully ripened.
No wonder they're garbage.
They have the least amount of nutrients and they're the cheapest in money fiscally. So that's pepper talk. I didn't know that you were such a pepper girl. I've never heard you talk about a pepper ever. This is like,
well, I don't have like a vegetable that I'll come on here and be like, I ate 75 of these today. Like there's nothing I feel that strongly about, but when you really break it down, bell peppers are just a very versatile food.
How many peppers do you have in the house today?
Like 3 or 4 probably.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
I have those little like sweet peppers, you know what I mean?
Oh, I like those too.
You know those?
If you put like a little cream cheese on those and then balsamic like glaze or whatever. So good.
I eat salsa with them.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
You love salsa. Okay.
I do.
Let's talk about Buffy.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, season 4, episode 12.
Yeah.
A new man.
I've seen this one 3 times, which is because like we had to take a week off because life be lifing. And I'm like fully convinced that I think that this is like probably an episode that people are like, this is a stupid episode. I like this episode.
No, people will say this is a stupid one.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
See, I love this for us that we don't know, like always the public perception, because I came in thinking this is one people love.
Really?
This is one people love. You know why? Because we know the Daddy Giles stands are everywhere.
True.
And when you have a Daddy Giles centric episode, here's where I think my take is. People who enjoy season 4 love this episode.
Sure.
People who think season 4 is like too corny or like too campy hate this episode.
Okay, that tracks.
Right?
I liked it though. I thought it was funny. Because we're going to talk a lot about like dumb shit today.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
this
every
is
day.
fun
Yeah.
dumb shit. I mean, every day we talk about dumb shit.
Every day.
It's like, it's not like we're NPR or something. But while Angel, which we'll get to eventually, I don't even want to speak of it, is stupid, like wasted my breath, wasted my time, stupid. But this was fun. And I really liked all of it. And I think that for me, the headline is my Ruffy standum is standing hard. I love this man. And I think he's a cutie patootie. I think that he's interesting. I think that they're a good match. I love that he didn't get like all like bro-y and like misogynistic when like Buffy beat his fucking ass. Like, I love it. And I love him. And I know that he's probably like, I mean, I don't even understand why 413 is that bad, but we'll get into that later. I like genuinely think that he thinks that he's doing a good job, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm coming to the realization based off of this episode and everything prior that I don't think that Riley is intentionally doing anything wrong. I think he feels like Buffy does about like, this is my job. And I don't think he knows. He doesn't have like, he's not on that pay grade, you know, he doesn't meet that security requirement.
The clearance is not there.
Yes, he does not have the clearance. I feel like Professor Walsh has the clearance, and she's maybe one of the only ones at that very high level that know what's truly going on. So I don't really hold him accountable. And I also really liked, I think this is probably the most I've liked Riley.
He's a gem. Like,
he's a perfectly nice person. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, it's very obviously.
My friend was dating Riley, I would be so happy. He's a man with a job. Number one, that's like a huge plus. This is a huge plus. We don't get that a lot. Number two, like, he's like a nice guy. I love that they were like fighting each other and they were both like holding back. I love their like sexual chemistry. I love that they were like working together, and like, I love how he was like, next time, like, don't do that when she broke him to the door. And Buffy was like, first got a little agitated and was like, don't like tell me what to do. We don't really have like time to like follow the rules. And Riley was like, no, like literally I have a key to the entire city. Like, I can get us in everywhere. Like, we don't have to like break into stuff. I love that like he's like trying to follow orders because he's very like militant.
Yes.
And he like is trained to follow orders. However, like, he didn't get into Buffy's way about how she was doing things. And then he defended her to Professor Walsh. So snaps. And I loved like the meeting of the parents type of thing. Like, I loved when like Buffy introduced Giles to Riley. And I mean, like, I don't love that like Giles had no clue, but like how respectful Riley was because he knows how important Giles is to Buffy. And I like that he like introduced you know, Buffy to Professor Walsh. And then like last, like, I keep like going on and on. I really am excited and I really apologize for like just blabbering. But like, I also love the scene where like they like Professor Walsh is like, yes, like Riley like beat 17 bad guys or whatever.
Oh, how many? Them. Yes.
Something with a D. Something like, I don't know.
I forget what they call them, but he's killed 17 of them.
17 hostiles. And like Buffy was like, yeah, that's like 17. That's a lot. And then I kind of asked our friends how approximately like how many demons, vampires that Buffy killed, and it's like at least in the 150s at this point that we've at least seen. And I love how he's like, oh my gosh, like I thought that like I was like a big deal with my 17, like that's just like a normal Tuesday for you. I didn't realize that like you were doing like multiple apocalypses. And once again, like you can think that like he's kind of like at first being like a man, like a manly man, like, you know, his like, oh, like his ego was bruised, but no, like he was just like impressed. So this is my stance. I am fully on this bandwagon. I adore them together, and I really, really, really like Riley. And that's what I have to say. And I'm going to mute myself so that you can talk now. I'm sorry, Jessica. I'm sorry. I'm just excited. I'm never excited about anything.
I was just going to say, you're passionate, which I love. Like, I'm happy that you absolutely adore Ruffy and love Riley. I think he is like as close to the perfect boyfriend that we have seen Buffy have, and one of the most perfect boyfriends probably on the show. I love that he, like, obviously upon finding out that Buffy has killed a lot more of them than he has, I think a lesser man would have like gotten his, boxers in a twist and gotten like really self-conscious, has probably started taking it out on her, and he didn't. Like he had like a little bit of like oh wow, okay, I'm not as good as I like thought I was. But it didn't deter him from still dating her. And when they were sparring, right, like he didn't want her to take it easy on him. He never gets angry at Buffy or jealous or anything like that, or like put out in any way because she's so powerful. He's impressed. Like he's constantly just impressed by her. And I also thought he was really great in terms of when he got to Giles, because they overheard like the 911 calls, and so he was like checking in or whatever because it seemed like there were demons involved. He was so supportive of Buffy. Like, I feel like he really was like, okay, I'll let you take the lead. And I really also appreciated him sticking up for Buffy to Professor Walsh and like allowing her clearances and all of that stuff, because I think it could be really difficult to stand up to someone who's not only your boss, but like possibly a little bit of a mentor for him as well.
Yeah.
And they've been dating now, like Buffy and Riley, but they're not like super, super serious, So like him going out on a limb for her like that, I thought was a really kind thing. So all of this to say, like, I think Riley is a really great boyfriend. He seems like a really nice person in general. I don't know what it is. And I have like decent chemistry. I just find myself like not being excited by him. And I think that's maybe where my problem is. But let me just say, like, certainly the most healthy relationship Buffy has had and the most normal person she's ever dated. Like, that's all great. I think the problem is probably going to come into play when it comes to Professor Walsh and whatever she has going on behind that door.
So that's kind of what I want to like go into, because Ethan Rayne's back, which is great. Like, I always like it when he comes back. Like, I'm kind of bummed that he got like arrested, because I think it's really fun to see him once a season cause some sort of mayhem and then able to pop off. He was very funny in this episode, very like breaking the fourth wall, like, oh man, like, why do I have to do the gloaty monologue? Like, this is where I get in trouble every time. So funny. He's at the pub with Giles, and he's warning Giles that amongst the demons, there's a lot of talk of something coming, something that's going to cause some chaos within the realms. And all the demons are like preparing for this and are equally scared. And the only thing that they know of, I mean, I feel like Ethan Rayne might have known a little bit more, because he specifically asked who Professor Walsh was, but which I feel like is very like telling, watching after the fact. Like, it's pretty telling that like somehow Ethan knows that this is connected to Professor Walsh, but it could have also been like Giles drunkenly complaining about Walsh, but
definitely, because he was not happy about her. We'll talk about that conversation later, because it was very funny.
So the only like concrete piece of like stuff that like I figured out was like, or he said was, I didn't figure anything out, was 413. And then at the end of the episode, we see Professor Walsh going through a door that requires extra clearance, which presumably like only she has access to of the characters that we know. And the door said 413. Any guesses, any clues?
So it's 314. I double checked. And the reason I think that's interesting is because 314 is pi, like 3.14 is the start of pi.
It's Einstein's birthday. It's also my mother's birthday.
Oh, lovely.
Yes.
So I don't know if pi has anything to do with it, like math or anything like that. I assume, because we've talked a lot about what happened with Spike and the implant and all of that stuff, it feels to me like it's not a big leap to say that they're probably doing other experiments on other demons, hostiles, whatever you want to call them, and that they're like, what I'm always thinking, okay, this is like a military operation. What do militaries like? Weapons. What are they trying to build? A super weapon. Okay. I think I may have said that like in the very beginning of the season, that was on my mind. And that's what I'm thinking of. Is just like, and that would make sense to me for Professor Walsh to hide from the rest of the team, or at least the people, the lower level people. Because Riley thinks he's doing something very like good for the town and good for people, is to like, oh, we're just neutering these vampires, not killing them. We're just making them so they're not dangerous to humans. Well, I don't know that he would be so cool with like experimenting on them, So that's where my mind goes, because Sarah, I feel like, why else would the demons be afraid unless there was some sort of a thing that could harm them too?
Yeah. I mean, it's that, but it's also like the demons are not good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel as though like the show is telling us like this is dangerous, this is dreadful, like we should be weary of 314, thank you for correcting me, and weary of Professor Walsh, but like also like the demons are not good. So like you would think that like we wouldn't mind if there was a mass exodus. So I think like your call of saying that there is a potential like goal to weaponize demons or vampires, I think that is probably a good call. I think it's like very like I've seen this film before type of thing.
Yeah. Like certainly shows have done this storyline before.
I don't know if this is like a Marvel thing or an X-Men thing, which is
it's definitely like, both. It's definitely Captain America, right? Like they made him into like a super soldier. The Wolverine, like there's a lot of examples of this happening. And
it feels a little tired. However, I mean, these were before all these Marvel movies became like national hits, like the most popular series of all time. Of course, they probably showed up in the comic books, but I wouldn't be surprised if Joss Whedon or the writers, the creators of the show took inspiration from comic books. So I think that's entirely possible. I'm trying to think like, what else could it be? Like, obviously, I think that there's going to be, which is kind of like my feelings around this whole thing, is that there's going to be like a morality debate between all of this. And I think that like is what Buffy is doing by killing demons, trying to save Sunnydale, like, is that any better or worse than, neutering these, like doing these experiments on these people, or people on these demons, or trying to like, I'm assuming that we would weaponize them to fight for America. Like, I'm like just curious, like I'm like feeling that this is going to be like a big like morality debate, which I don't know if I'm like tuned in enough to like speak upon this. Like, it feels very like philosophical, which I don't know if I can be like, yes, like I believe that like this is moral and this is not. I'm not quite sure, because like, I mean, Buffy is like killing people all the time, but also they are, I don't know. So, and I feel as though once we find out like what this all is, maybe it'll be more clear that like Professor Walsh is doing something bad, and then Riley has to decide like, is that something that he wants to continue being a part of? That could cause conflict between Buffy and Riley as well. Obviously we need more information, but the show is telling me that Professor Walsh is up to no good. Which is interesting. I guess I'm like curious as to, we'll find out in X amount of episodes.
Yeah, and I wonder too if possibly it could, like, in the experimenting that they're doing on the vampires or demons or whoever, if it could involve hurting or putting humans' lives at stake or jeopardizing their lives in some way, right? Like, could it cross that line? I think it's possible. I don't know that we've seen enough to, like, really know Professor Walsh's intentions, but I will say, like, when it came to her argument with Giles, I do think we're meant to, as much as it's a comical scene, like, certainly take Giles's side. Like, we're not on Professor Walsh's side at any point in this episode. And so it just makes me wonder, like, okay, they're really setting her up to be
the big bad,
or totally. Like, you know what I mean? Or like the inventor of the big bad, right? Like, if whatever she creates, it's like a Frankenstein's monster sort of a situation. Like, maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. And I thought one of the really fascinating things this episode was, like, okay, the like handing down of knowledge, right? Like, okay, we're going to disseminate this information. So Buffy and Riley are going to tell Professor Walsh that Buffy is the Slayer. And then Professor Walsh is going to work on getting Buffy some access, right? Like, they're very impressed, yada, yada. Now, Buffy completely forgets. The thing is, and we talked about this, Sarah. We're like, who's telling Giles? Like, Giles is still in the dark about all of this.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's not that Buffy intentionally left him out. She literally forgot to mention it to him, which feels maybe worse. Like, she just, he wasn't even a thought in her mind. And obviously that's going to be a running thing this episode, is just Giles feeling disconnected. Like, I mean, as I think he probably should feel, because he is, like, a man of a certain age hanging out with, like, mostly college students, like, and he doesn't really have a job right now. Like, he needs something else to go on. And it all starts off at, like, Buffy's birthday party, which I'm like, oh my God, Buffy, stop having birthday parties. Like, it never goes well. He was so awkward. No, they threw it for her.
She literally was minding her own business. She was about to get dick down. And then all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. Willow was like, hey, you got to come out. We have an emergency. Riley wasn't even in the loop to this birthday party. It was insanity. But they're all hanging out at, like, the dorm lounge. And Giles just looks like daddy grandpa hanging out in the side at the punch bowl. And he's feeling out of sorts. Like, I definitely think that he is feeling purposeless. He doesn't work for the council anymore. He doesn't really work with Buffy, like, for Buffy anymore. Doesn't have a job. Doesn't have people, his own friends, besides his little fuck buddy. Like, he does not have a purpose. He needs a purpose. We need, like, I know that Giles is going to work at the university. I know he's going to be, like, a librarian at the university, library, like, or a professor or something. Like, let's get to it. Like, let's do it. Like, why are we not there yet? I don't really understand. But this whole birthday party was a little cursed. My favorite part of the birthday party, though, I love Anya. I feel so bad because we did our rankings last episode, and I don't know what kind of stink ass mood I was in, but I think my rankings were just, like, off, because it just was, like, I think that, like, our buddy Tom, who's, like, has been a guest on the show before, he put out his, like, what he thought my rankings would be, and I was like, you know what, I agree with those rankings more than my own rankings, but nonetheless, love Anya. I love the scene when Anya was listening to some boring ass Giles story, and she, like, cuts him off and says to Xander, like, can we get food now? And, like, Xander's like, Anya, we talked about this. And Anya was like, oh yes, please tell me more about your boring ass story. And then the look of, like, did I do good? Did I do good? Like, can I have like a little like praise that she gives to Xander after she like asks a follow-up question about his boring ass story? It was so adorable. I loved it so much. So cute. She's so cute. I just love her.
She's really funny. I think I love her taking cultural sorts of things, like the like pretending to be interested in someone's story and go to the extreme with it, or like use it for her own betterment, like when she tries to give away Xander's lamp to Spike and like couch it as like, oh, this is a house warming gift, and she really just hates the lamp.
She was like, I read about it, like it's really nice. It's a nice thing to do, to give a gift. And Xander's like, yeah, but not something I already own. And it was like, we both know that this lamp is an ugly ass fucking lamp that you get at like IKEA when you're 19 years old. Get it out of there. Get it out. So good. But yeah, like Giles didn't know that Buffy had a new boyfriend. Didn't know shit. Like she told him nothing.
He was really out of the loop, and so of course he felt bad about that. And on top of that, like he's the only adult at this party, and when he goes to like talk to Professor Walsh about Buffy, she really like roasts him. It's like I feel like she is critiquing his way of like teaching Buffy, and on top of that just completely dismissing not that she knows, but I feel like there's a part of her that knows of not only of Giles's existence but of his importance to Buffy. And so for her to be like, well, she really lacks a father figure, I'm like, whoa, lady. Like and maybe it's because I'm assuming that she's also like a big bad in this season, but I feel like I'm just like really I just want to defend Giles to the death with this sort of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, to play devil's advocate, like how could she know the significance that Giles plays in Buffy's life? Because like Giles was just like, yes, I was Buffy's like high school librarian. Like maybe she was critiquing the way that he taught her, but like he wasn't even her teacher. I mean, like it depends. Like it depends on like how much she actually knows, like versus like how much we think that she knows. Like there is a big chance that she knows that Giles is her watcher. Like now that she or made that connection or something, and like then she was purposely dunking on Giles to maybe create a like separation between Giles and Buffy. Like there's a world where like now that Professor Walsh knows like how experienced, how powerful, how how dangerous Buffy could be in it of itself, like I'm sure she's like, I want her on my side. I want to use Buffy as the weapon. And I think like this is where the evilness might come in, actually, that there might be a chance that like Professor Walsh sees Buffy as a freak, sees Buffy as a hostile, and might want to harness Buffy for her cause, which could definitely be like the evil shift that like we are not seeing right now.
That's really interesting. I almost feel the opposite will happen, where because this episode we saw once they figure out that Ethan is behind it, Riley gets like instructions from Professor Walsh, and she pretty much explicitly says, don't bring Buffy, like this is beyond her clearance level, blah, 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 whatever. I think knowing that Buffy is the Slayer and has like a specific morality about her, I wonder if now Professor Walsh is like, whoa, 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 like we'll get you certain clearances, but like maybe she's afraid of Buffy knowing too much. You know?
I definitely think that's like part of it, but I think that like I don't know, like I think that I would not be surprised in the next few episodes if Professor Walsh wants there to be more and more of a divide between Giles and Buffy, or Buffy and her friends, so that she can have control over Buffy, so that she can use Buffy in the way that she sees fit. And like, I don't think that she's going to, like, I don't think that Buffy is going to be like Professor Walsh's secondhand woman. I think that Buffy is going to be seen as like as a hostile, like as a weapon, as like somebody that she could use, is what I'm thinking. I'm very, very, very curious, very interesting. But like, I definitely think that yeah, the friction between Walsh and Giles was like really strange. I think that
because at first glance you're like, oh, these two are gonna hit it off great,
you would
right?
think,
Like
right?
you'd think, but no, he finds her like full of herself, and I get that. Like I feel like they're two intellectuals who are like used to being the smartest person in the room.
Oh,
And so
I would
then
rather die and burn my eyes out than have to see two people that think that they're the smartest person in the room like battle it out. That is like my least favorite thing. This is like a condensation. Nope, not that. Clearly
it's raining.
Clearly I'm not the smartest person in the room. What word was I trying
Condescension?
to get? Condescension off, which gives me the biggest ick. I hate it.
Yeah. But staying on Giles, we need. I can't believe we've made it 30-something minutes into this podcast.
I know, but like Giles,
no, there's a
is,
lot
like,
to talk through.
I know, but like Giles is also like the biggest part of the. Is there anything else besides the Giles storyline that we didn't touch on? I don't think so.
Well, no, there is. Let's before we go to like Giles is a demon and all that other stuff. Let's stop down on Spike, because we mentioned it in passing that he wants to move out of.
I don't think he wants to move out. I think that Xander is kicking him out.
I think it's both. I think Spike wants a cave of his own. He wants a place away from Xander. And so he's off. He's going to bump into Giles, which we'll talk about once we get into the Giles as a demon stuff. But there's one other thing that is like, there's a tiny moment for it where we get Willow and Tara doing magic together. But this was strange, Sarah, because the whole thing is they're supposed to like put their energy together, and together they'll float the rose and then pluck the petals off individually. But while they're doing this, the rose flies around the room, and basically like it just goes like haywire. All the petals do come off, but it's not like a nice like pluck.
Explodes. What did you think? Because I kind of have two interpretations of this. So
Willow mentions dark magic is afoot. That is like what she felt. But I don't think this has anything to do with Tara. I don't think she's the dark magic at all.
So did you think it was Ethan Rayne? Like, was that like a sign that he was coming in and like his magic was prevalent?
No, I think he's like a little bit of a red herring. Like he's done for this episode. So like we could pretend it's him, but it's not. I think whatever is behind the door of 314, it was like activated. I don't know the word for it, but like turned online, jacked in, if you will.
Stop
what an old reference. And so I think that, and think about it, this is all underneath the fraternity, right? Like it's literally underground of the university.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so then they're feeling it like through the ground. It makes sense. It's very local to that area.
I wonder if this is like a really powerful source of magic then. That's very, very, very interesting. My two interpretations were like, like, is it like an Ethan Rayne thing, or like is like Tara a really, really, really powerful witch that isn't able to control or harness her powers? But I think that 314 theory is really interesting. Like I didn't think of it, and I think it's like certainly plausible that could be part of it. That can be or that could be it. Like there is something that is super, super powerful that is in a magical realm and could be hidden behind that door, because we don't know what's behind that door, and it could be what affected the magic in that moment. Very interesting.
Yeah. I just think that the show wants us to like look at Ethan or look at maybe Tara even. And I don't think this is too meta for, because I just personally, if Tara is a character on the show, sure, I guess she could have some dark magic in her that is like, needs to be weeded out or something with Willow. I just don't think that's the direction it's going to go. Okay, this is not going to happen. This feels like a fan fiction moment, but I had a light bulb happen in my brain right now.
What happened?
This is totally fan fiction. But what if?
Yeah.
What if Faith is behind 314 and she is like in her coma, but they've been working on her, like experimenting on her to make her a super slayer?
Oh, interesting.
It's fan fiction. I just really want Faith back on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels once again like an X-Men storyline. I think all of it does. It all feels like that way. That could be possible too.
Yeah. So that's kind of it's very cute, right? Like great, very cute Willow and Tara stuff.
They're really doing it. Like and with that, I wonder why Willow is keeping Tara as a secret to Buffy. Like, I wonder why is this like pure 1990s, like, you know, I'm afraid to come out of the closet, or I'm afraid to admit that I have feelings for a woman, like, or is she like too afraid to admit that she like has somebody that she's working on magic with? Like, I'm curious why, even at like a base like friendship level, why she didn't tell Buffy that she was working on magic stuff with Tara.
Oh, I think 1,000% it has nothing to do with the magic and 100% to do with her feelings for Tara. Yeah. I feel like if if I'm Willow and I am nervous about the fact that I am having feelings for someone of a different gender that I have had felt feelings for in the past, then I'm worried that at Buffy, as my best friend, if I even mention Tara's name, that Buffy will sense that I have the feelings for her. I just think she's like, if I bring her up, Buffy's going to ask me about her, and then my face is going to get red, and then it's going to be obvious. And maybe that's a step too far. Like maybe maybe it's not even that fleshed out, and Willow is like, just feels like she needs to hide Tara for like reasons she doesn't quite understand yet. Yeah. Like I think I just feel like that's why she doesn't bring her up. And I don't think it has anything to do with like shame or like she's worried Buffy will be jealous. I really think it's just, I don't know how to talk about this person with my best friend, so I'm not going to mention them at all.
Yeah, I think that's the right take. I do. It's just, I just found it like really interesting that she wouldn't even say, oh, my friend, like my friend that I met at Wicca Club, like, or anything. But like, I guess it's so like pure, so new, so like delicate that she can't even speak of it because then it might like slip through her fingers type of thing. And like that's totally relatable or understandable. Like the first moments that you realize that you have feelings for somebody and it's not spoken of outwardly to anybody, it does feel that delicate and that intimate and that secretive. And it's just like, well, like who can I like even reveal this to, let alone like a same-sex relationship or crush. Like, yeah, it's a really like sweet moment. Okay, you want to talk about Giles now?
I would love to talk about Giles. So Giles, after his beers with Ethan, which truly I was like, check those drinks, you know, check your beds, Giles. He gets super drunk. Who knows? It could have just been like a swirl of the hand. Like, I don't even know what Ethan did to him. You know,
he joked about it, but then he was like, I'm just joking. But then he shows up the next morning and he's transformed. But yeah, I definitely think that Giles needed that like little nail polish and then like dunk the finger in and make sure that his drink is not laced.
Cover your bevs, people. Yeah. I am very triggered in any movie or television show that I see where someone like leaves their drink behind to go do something in a public place, obviously, like you're at your house, whatever. But I've seen it too many times, and every time I'm like, please don't, like someone's gonna poison you or like roofie you or something. I'm very conscious of it. I don't know why. It's just always on my brain. Anyway.
Yeah.
Giles gets drugged with something and he wakes up and he's a demon. And you know me, I'm not a huge like slapsticky sort of a person, but this did kind of tickle me that like literally everything he touches just like crumbles. Like he touches the post of the railing, it crumbles. He tries to pick up the phone to call someone, he crushes it in his hand.
Yeah, he is, I forget what the demon is called. You could probably grab it quicker than I can.
Oh, the Barvane, I think was what they said.
I don't know, some sort of like barbarian like demon, someone who's like really huge, really strong, doesn't speak English, which is like such a funny bit throughout the episode. And yeah, like has a temper and something involving mucus. There's like a big mucus problem. So yeah, he discovers this, doesn't realize his own strength, and like kind of goes into a panic, rips his shirt. He's like, oh crap, like I really liked this shirt too. We know it's Giles right away because it wakes up in Giles's house and has Giles's voice, but nobody understands him at all.
This was one of my other favorite reveals.
So funny.
When he gets to Xander's house and he's like, what is this guy still doing asleep? It's like 10 a.m. And he's like whispering to him. And I was like, this is a perfect idea, Giles, because you wake him up with your voice first. Yeah. He'll recognize it. No, instead, he doesn't even realize he's speaking demon, freaks Xander out, freaks Giles out. Giles runs away and he's like, he's like, what am I gonna do? No one understands me. And
he just like roams the streets at like depressed. And then I guess he's looking for maybe Buffy in the graveyard, but he runs into Spike. And Spike is a bilingual king because
we love it.
I love it. Who knew? He probably speaks many languages, but he speaks whatever language that Giles is speaking. And he's like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, why'd you turn into a demon? And clearly Giles knows it's like an Ethan Rain type of thing. And they get to team up together, which is super fun, with a bargain of, I mean, Spike undersold himself. He said, I'll do this for $200. Baby boy, like you can make so much more money.
Well, yes, but Giles is still unemployed. So like keeping that in mind, you know, I love this team up, literally a buddy cop duo of Giles and Spike is just what the doctor ordered. I think it's so funny. Then Spike is driving his car and it's like Giles is like, slow down. He's like very much bothered by Spike driving the car. Freaking Spike crashes Giles's car.
That looked like a shitmobile. I'm not gonna lie. It's for the greater good. I love that Anya was like, why would he steal? Why would the demon steal that car? Like,
and of course, like, meanwhile, all the Scoobies are at Giles' house thinking he got kidnapped because there's a mess everywhere and they can't find him. And yeah, I love that at first we don't know whether or not Spike is lying about the paralyzing mucus, but then when the Scoobies are reading up on this specific type of demon, it confirms that he does have a paralyzing mucus.
We didn't get to see it, which is kind of disappointing.
I don't know that I needed to though, because like we get so much mucus in this show. I don't need more.
That's true. Yeah. I'm still like reeling over the Hush episode, or this. What was the
Hush?
Yeah, where the dude's heads explode and it was like green gunk, disgusting,
so nasty,
absolutely, really nasty shit. So so Spike and Giles are going around trying to figure out where Ethan's staying at. They run into and throughout it, like Giles is becoming more and more like this demon because like his temper's coming out.
Yes.
He's like turning into, he's like, I'm worried I'm gonna become a monster, a beast. And then he sees Professor Walsh. He goes out and it's like,
my favorite when he is like, he's just being a petty Betty. He's like, screw this lady, I'm gonna scare her. That's all he does. He gets out of the car, he chases her, he scares her away, and then he gets back in. It's so funny. It's like, beautiful.
Okay, let's go. So funny. Eventually he tries to get Spike to do more driving around for him, has to up the ante to $300. Once again, Spike, like, you're worth more than $300. And they eventually find Ethan Rayne at this like shitty ass hotel, and they're about to like fight, and Buffy comes in. She doesn't know. She still thinks that the demon, this mysterious demon that was encountering Xander, took Giles. But so she starts fighting him. She has like I think like a letter opener or something, a silver letter opener or a little dagger. And stabs him. But then she looks into his eyes and is like, I know who that is. That's Giles. And he reverses the curse. Or she reverses the curse, and then he comes back to normal. And then Ethan gets arrested, and it's a happy ending to the story. It was funny.
Yeah, and they talk about Ethan is taken by the military to Nevada. And I was like, this is interesting because, Sarah, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, or is he being taken underground?
I mean, he's definitely getting taken underground, but where is Area 51? It is in Nevada. So I think that that's interesting too. Like how coincidental we're going to Nevada.
And worth noting that Giles tells Buffy about Ethan's warning about the initiative and all of that stuff, right? So like about, I do think there is something to what Ethan was saying.
So we are weary of the initiative, but I mean, like the initiative and the Slayer is currently working together pretty well, but we don't trust it, I guess.
Right. But like, again, I think I don't at this point, and I don't know if I should be ruling it out, but Riley just seems like such a nice guy. I'd be really, really, really surprised if they had him do a heel turn.
Oh my gosh. If Riley's the big bad of the season for his evil, I will go out and hang myself off the porch swing.
Yeah.
I don't even have a porch swing, but I'll get one.
You'll get one just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was our episode of Buffy. Anything else that we didn't talk about? We talked about Spike. Anya is just a gem and a treasure forever and ever. Yeah. I really do like Spike getting these one-on-one kind of pairings with people. I think he's very funny, and yeah, I don't know. I want to see his new digs. I would love that.
Well, it needs to have a fridge for his telly, number one. He needs he needs electricity for his telly, but also for his fridge for his blood. So I hope that he upgrades from a standard crypt. He needs his Days of Our Lives or Passions or whatever. I think it was Passions, whichever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was Passions. It was definitely Passions. All right, well, that's all for Buffy. Let's talk about the episode of Angel.
I told you. Okay, so this is the thing. I watched this episode a while ago, and I said to Jessica, I mean, it's just been a while, basically. I watched it pretty soon after our last episode ended. You just watched it today. But I told you a week and a half ago, Jessica, you don't have to watch this. You don't have to watch this. In fact, I can even relay this to you if you would like, because it's stupid and it's going to annoy you. And you took it as, this is going to be a ha-ha annoying and not of this is the dumbest shit that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to talk about it that much because it was disgusting and it bummed me out.
It's not a good one. It's just not a good one. It's called Expecting. Basically, Cordelia and some other women go out and they go partying and they meet all these men, and these men have a deal with some demon where he's going to spread his nasty ass seed in all of them and give them 7 babies each or something.
Yeah. And then in turn, the men get smelly cash, stinky cash.
Yes.
And then Cordelia goes out with this
guy, I'm gonna look him up for a second.
Nathan,
you keep talking.
I think his name is Nathan. So he goes out with him. They have a night of hot passion. It's going really well, but then Cordelia wakes up and is 8.5 months pregnant, huge pregnant belly, and she is super depressed, which is understandable, and shocked. And then her, Wesley, and Angel have to try to figure out what the fuck is happening. And long story short, we find out she's not the only one. We find out that it's not really this like Veronica Mars motherfucker that's the one that does it. It's like this demon. And then as it's going on more and more of the episode, she is becoming more and more connected to the babies who because of a telepathic connection of some sort. Do you know this guy's name yet?
Yeah, Wilson is the character's name, and Ken Marino is who plays him. He's a pretty famous actor, so I just wanted to make sure I had his name.
Ken Marino.
Yeah, he plays Wilson, who is
Nathan. Ken Marino.
Ken Marino is the actor.
Wait, I think I know why I think his name is Nathan.
Who does he play, Nathan?
I think he plays
Vinny in Veronica Mars.
No, I'm not talking. I'm not even talking about that. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, he was in a Dawson's Creek. He was in 10 Dawson's Creek episodes.
Ken Marino?
Excuse me?
Who did he play?
A professor? Oh man. Is he the professor that was like hanging out with Joey? Man, I know nothing. What kind of
I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, he plays Wilson, who is the one who has sex with Cordelia. He's like a proxy father or whatever. And yeah, it's really gross because, like you said, we have like Wesley trying to take care of Cordelia, who's like massively pregnant after like one night. And she is more and more connected to these babies. All the women wear these like white dresses and get in this big vat of water. Yeah. And then they eventually do kill the demon and it just poofs the pregnancies. Or maybe it squishes them out into the water just to save us all from being disgusted. I don't know. I also don't really care because this episode wasn't even like funny bad. It was just bad.
Yeah, it was. It just wasn't good. It bummed me out because once again, it's just like using Cordelia as a prop of being a woman that we have to save. Yeah. So, which is just like old and tired.
Yeah, stop doing that. Why are we doing that so much?
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah. I think like the highlight of the episode was like Wesley and Cordelia like pretending to be a married couple at the doctor's office and just seeing Wesley as like a nervous dad. He's just like a nervous guy. He once again said that he's a rogue demon hunter. That's like kind of funny. Kate wasn't there, which is another plus, I suppose, but it was a waste of time and a waste of space. I wish you listened to me. You don't listen to me. You don't trust me.
Because the way you said it, you're like, oh, Jess is going to hate this. I thought there was going to be something horribly offensive that like it would be fun to hate. But no, it was just boring and dumb.
Yeah.
One thing I did like was Dennis, the return of Dennis, the Menace ghost roommate.
Oh, 10 out of 10. That was great.
Great.
I loved when he like brought over the little tissue box when Cordelia was crying. That was really sweet.
I mean, obviously Dennis seemed to know something we didn't about Wilson. Because, anyway, all right, that's enough of that. We've had enough of that Angel episode. What do we do first? Do you want to do, we got a voicemail from Joy, or we can, let's listen to Joy first and then we'll talk about next week's episodes. Okay, Joy, what do you got to say?
Hello again, it's Joy. You said you liked the birds, so I'm sending you another voicemail with the birds. I will send an email eventually with pictures of my dogs. They're two like mutts, but just give me a second. Okay, so you have a new man, Giles as Viral Demon. Classic Giles episode. We get Ethan Rain again, little shit stirrer that he is. I kind of love when villains are like, they delight in the villainy, which is why I loved Angela so much, as I'm sure you guys did as well. It's just when you really enjoy it and you're not like, I do like broody on my good guys, but I don't like broody on my bad guys. Maybe that's what it is. Anyway, his hatred for Professor Walsh is hilarious. Him attacking her. We thought you were a myth. Well, you were myth taken. I quote that also quite a bit. This is part of why I don't like Riley, where he's like really kind of weirded out by the fact that Buffy is just cooler than him. And like, you know, she's the chosen one. Deal with it, dude. Spike being like, I can kill a demon. And then he figures out that it's Giles. Hilarious. All the interactions are great. Just great. And then what's 314? Dun, dun, dun. To be determined. Okay. Then the other one, Expecting from Angel. I don't love that episode. I mean, I really like how both Angel and Wesley don't shame Cordy. They rally around her and they're just like really, really good supporting people for her with what's going on. I do think it's a little slut shaming in like a mystical way, but like, oh, she slept with a guy and then she ended up pregnant, you know, but
yeah,
with the creators stuff, what did we expect? Right. But yeah, I haven't watched these episodes, by the way. I just haven't had time. So this is just off the cuff of my memory and like reading the IMDb quotes and being like, oh yeah, that happened and that happened. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy it. Bye.
Wow.
That's incredible, Joy.
Memory queen. I think that if you rewatched it, like I mean, number one Riley defender, I think that you would remember or see that like he wasn't as critical as like maybe memory serves. Like I think that if anything, like he was maybe like questioning himself of like, how good am I as a hostile eliminator dude?
Yeah, I think I took it more as he was taken aback by it, more so than he was like felt a certain type of way about it.
Yeah. But I mean, like that's like the thing about these shows. Like we can interpret different things like totally different ways. But yeah, I am the number one Riley defender.
Ruffy forever.
How did I get here? I don't know.
Oh, also, if you're watching us on YouTube, I forgot to even show off. I have new Buffy art in the background now.
It looks really good. I do like the larger frame, and the art is very lovely.
It's the one and the only Daddy Vamps. Your love and mine. Fruit Punch Mouth Daddy Vamps. I love him.
Thank you. I mean, I will never forget that you ranked him like the least compelling villain. Even though once again I thought we had an alliance, so
I won't make that mistake again when we finish.
You better not, even for the bit.
I will maintain the bit going forward.
I don't know where your mind went,
but okay, let's talk about next week's episode titles. So season 4, episode 13 for Buffy, The I in Team.
Okay.
Are we getting a sports episode?
No, I think that the initiative and like the Slayer like teams are coming together to try. Work together.
Also, the I is an initiative in team, but also this is going to be really interesting because we've spent a lot of time talking about how Buffy loves to be like, she's an independent queen. She's like, I can handle this on my own. And constantly we're like, but you have the Scoobies. Utilize the Scoobies. Yeah. Now she's not only having to utilize the Scoobies, but also now there's the initiative button into all her Slayer business. Yeah. I think they're going to cramp her style a bit.
Yeah, it's true. Like she's not the best person taking direction. I think that was another interesting line by Riley. He was like, well, like you think of the plans, you make the plans, you execute the plans. Like you don't have to like follow anybody's instructions. And I think like that was another interesting aspect of it because like Riley in a way is like a minion guy. Like he's just like, yeah, like maybe he's like the captain of his like other people that are just like him, but he's not the one that makes the plans, follows the plans, executes the plans. So to see Buffy take commands, we already know that she doesn't take commands well from superiors. Like there's a reason why she got fired from the council, which once again,
well, she quit, I thought.
Who the fuck knows? I don't know. Like, where's the council anyway these days? You would think that they would have like some like interest.
You'd think.
I don't know.
And then the Angel episode is titled season 1, episode 13, She. So,
all right. Well, we'll see.
I don't know. I don't think this episode was on Michael's list. So
Michael's favorite episodes of all time.
Yes, that list.
that one list.
But yeah. So next week I'll be back. So I apologize if I missed anything because I I watched this episode twice, but it's been a minute since I watched it the second time.
I think we covered it. Yeah.
It was a good one. It was a fun one. It was a campy one. I'm still really liking season 4. I'll just say, I know it's going to fall off a cliff at some point, but right now we riding high, baby.
It's going to be good. Like, I think that like if we are happy as of now, I think it's going to be fine.
Okay, great. Look at that. Happy as of episode 12.
Yeah.
Well, you know where to find us. shit90spod.com, shit90spod@gmail.com if you ever want to send in any feedback. And yeah, next week we'll be back with more Buffy. In the meantime, here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.